Okay, so first thing, we're going to open a new project, and we're going to call this project J Test Network. So what we're going to be doing here is creating a project, and instead of using a base station, we're going to be using the network SmartNet service for the rover. This is going to be the description of a SmartNet. Our units are going to be US survey feet. All good. And now here we can upload first our coordinate, or we'll upload our control. I've already preloaded the control into the data folder underneath LeicaGeoSystems, user LeicaGeoSystems data. This file is already a CSV file. So I'm going to go down and select the CSV file. And then I've already looked at the control file, and I'm able to see that the file is point number X, Y, Z. So then on the Leica software, I can select point number X, East, Y, North, Z, H. I want to have a row skip count of 1, which means that we'll be skipping the top row in the CSV file. If we didn't have a top row legend, we would put a row skip count of 0. And now that control is loaded in. 11 points successfully. While we're here, we're also going to import the reference data, which will be the actual points that we want to survey. So again, I've dropped this into the data file already. I think we can find it here. There it is. So again, I'm going to look at the CSV file in Excel. Again, it's point number XY. Just one thing to note quickly, when you're doing a control points, you do need to have position in control points, but if you're just doing an XY survey, you don't need position. This is also if you're doing a localization with a base station. And we're going to go ID, easting, northing, and then we also have a row skip count of 1 again. Okay, 86 points. So now we have our control points and our reference data in. And if we just look at the stakeout, we do see that we have all of our points. The triangles are the control points and the reference data are the circles. And now we have to create a profile for this rover. Once again, we're not using a base station and a regular rover. We're going to be doing a rover with a network subscription. So first, I'm going to show how to actually set the whole thing up. So I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, so we're going to go add new model. We're using the icon GPS 80. If you're using a 60, you'd select it here. And we're going to go to start search. And right now I have the rover on and charged. So now you can see it pop up, and you can this is the serial number of it if you want to double check that if you have multiple devices in the area. Once that's blue, we can go to the next page and we're going to set up a new configuration. So this configuration is rover, and we're going to be using network instead of internal radio. You'd be using internal radio if you're using setting up a base station. And we're going to be using ntrip, not server and port. And let's go to the next page. So now it asks for an address, a port number, username, password. So now we want to go over to the SmartNet website, which is going to be smartnetnorthamerica.com or smartnetna.com, and we're going to log in. So you're going to use your login that is provided. This is a paid subscription, so I'm going to look at my login, which is we're using Alex's login, H. Kramer, password is 61. Okay, so now we're logged into the SmartNet website, and this is where you can see the live status map if you want to check out all the base stations that are around North America and the world, which is kind of cool. I guess this is just for North America and Canada. So we're doing this in the Bay Area, and you can see that we have a little bit of a mesh network around the Bay Area. So what we're looking for is the address, port number, username, password. So if we go to, I want to say, resources, and I want to go to connection and configuration. I'm going to select Leica because that's the manufacturer of our rover, and we're using an ICG70. We are in US, California, and this device does support domain names. So let's get the connection information. So we can see that our port is 9201. Our mount point is MC icon MSM. So we're going, and then our server address. So what we're going to do is you can take a screenshot of that or a picture. I'm just going to slide it to my other screen, and our address is going to be casmartnetna.com. Our port number, as you just saw, is 9201, and the username, which is the username from your license, which will be provided from SmartNet. Our username is hey, that number, and our password is that. Alright, so now that we have provided the information for the ntrip settings, we're going to go to the next page and select our mount point, which is what you guys just saw on the SmartNet website, MC icon MSM. So we're going to select MC icon MSM. Our network type is going to be IMAX, and then measure your antenna or your like your sensor height for your pole from the bottom to kind of the bottom of the sensor to the bottom of the pole, which is 2 meters, and convert it to feet. And you can create your profile name of what you want your rover to be called. I'm just going to call it ICG. I'll say network. So we know the difference between the regular rover, and as you can see, it's working. We're already getting corrections, which is awesome. So now we can go over to our stakeout mode and kind of start going to work here. So first we can go to a control point, And I'm gonna bring, okay, yeah, so now I gotta bring, Justin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm set up,
All
established, plumbed up on CPT1, control point 1.
CPT1. Okay. So we can zoom into CPT1. Okay, I think so. We do have to create a coordinate system. Okay, so we're going to create a coordinate system of a small area because it's not like over a city. And before we start our localization, we're going to make sure that we're taking enough samples. Justin, do you have the feed on it?
Say that again, sorry?
Do you have the bipod on it?
Yeah.
Perfect. You want to set it up. So if you're set up on that point, I set the measure mode to 20 seconds, and we're taking 25 measurements. Are you good to go? Are you all level?
Plumbed up, level, good to go.
Okay. So now we're going to hit average, and it's going to take the first shot of this control point. So what we're doing right now is creating a coordinate system to map the area so we can have proper correction for the area. Alright, that one's good to go. So you can walk to the next one, Justin.
Okay, I'm going to walk up to CPT2.
Okay. So we can see too, while he's walking, that we're tracking 12 out of 12 satellites, which is good. And these are our residuals at the bottom, this green ribbon. And then up here we can check our modem, and we're getting full correction, which is great. Are you all lined up?
Okay, plumbed up.
Alright.
CPT2.
CPT2. Alright. So yeah, I guess while we're doing the localization too, it's good to note that you need like a as clear as possible line of sight to the sky because it's tracking the satellites, and then also using the correction with the internet. All right, you're good, Justin. So do you have a third one that's open?
Okay.
Do you have a third control point that's open?
Go to CPT3.
Okay. And when you're doing a localization, you want to make sure that the minimum you need is 3, so you can get your position. So it's essentially calculating because we know how far it is between point to point, but we want to like build out the coordinate system. So when you do use 2, you get the point to point, and then you use a third one to give you the triangle, the angle as well. And we can go down and check our residuals, which still look good, but we need one more. Tell me when you're ready, Justin.
All good on CPT3. Plumbed up.
Alright, perfect. So now we have 3, and you can see all of our residuals look good, and we have a scale factor that's also green and accepted, which is great. Justin, do you have a 4th one that we can go to that is available? It looks good so far, but might as well hit a 4th one if you have it.
Yeah, let me see.
CPT 5 or 4.
Okay, CPT 7.
Perfect. So,
Plumbed up.
and it looks like we have good correction, 100%, and we have full satellites, which is great, what we need for every control point. And now we're going to take our average. So this is going to be our fourth one, which should be plenty for mapping out coordinate system. All right, now we're good. So last thing to do is just check that all of our residuals are green, and if you have one that is potentially didn't have a good correction or didn't have enough satellites, you can either uncheck it and then see your scale factor will change, but for this one you want to use as many as you can, and we're going to use all of them. If you don't want to use a height, you can deselect a height if you think the height is wrong, but we're going to use them all, which is great. And then hit the check, finish our localization. And then this is where, if you're using an ICG 80 or machine control, you're going to want to take this coordinate system and note where it's saved. Save it to a USB file. Save it on the tablet, and then extract it from the tablet, copy it onto USB file, and save it in a folder called CoordinateSystems with this exact spelling, spacing, and capital C and capital S. And now we are good. We can now go to work. So Justin, do you want to go to do a stakeout?
Absolutely.
And we'll, now that we've done our localization, we should be able to do our work.